Hello, NKU MAT candidates, and welcome to the program. I am Dr. Melissa Hess, and I know that we have talked recently, and I'm excited that you all are here. I am just recording a quick, maybe not so quick, video that will walk you through your first hours of your 693 field experience. If you remember when we did advising, we looked at your curriculum contract, and on your curriculum contract, there was two different courses. One of the courses were your standard 7-week courses that you could kind of come and go as you please, pending that you had your assignments done at the end of each module. Okay. The other one was a combination of 5 different credit hours of those 693 courses that happen over and over throughout the program. If you remember, each one of those 5 credit hours represents 40 hours in the classroom, and they also represent you being observed once by someone from NKU and once by someone from the school that you are serving in. And so what this video is going to do is it's going to kind of break down and make more sense on what to expect as you jump into your field experience course. So let's get started. Things that we're going to talk about in this video is the role of the course instructor / UCE. This person is the same person. Her name is Dr. Beth Van Wassenhove, and the course instructor / UCE will be the person that is running the course on Canvas. She is the person that will be observing you and leading you through both hours 1 and 2. When you get to hour 3 in the program, you will have someone different, and then hour 4 and 5 will be another person from NKU, another faculty member in our program, and then when you student teach, you will have yet another person. And so you have about 4 people that are walking you through the program, and so that allows you to get teaching experience and advice and input from 4 different people. We're also going to be talking about the role of your building mentor / your PK-12CE. We're going to be looking at checklists. One is made for each hour, but we're going to dive into what to expect for hour 1, which is for term 1, the first 7 weeks of this semester. We're going to be looking at what is Foliotech, your cumulative progress report, lesson plans and lesson reflections, observations, and hour logs. All of this sounds like a lot, but between myself, the resources given to you, and Dr. Van Wassenhove, we will take it week by week, day by day, and before you know it, your 7 weeks will be up and you'll be moving on to hour 2. So the first thing that I would like to talk about is to really distinguish the different parts in this collaboration between a middle school or a high school and also NKU. So on the left there, you will see the red schoolhouse. And that red schoolhouse underneath there, you can see the term a building mentor or a PK-12CE. These people are kind of the same and kind of different. If you are serving under an option 6 licensure, meaning that you have already been hired by a school and they are paying you to teach there full time, then you will have someone called a building mentor. A building mentor was chosen by the principal of your school because they feel that they are a leader academically, content-wise, and they have chosen that person on purpose to be your mentor throughout your time serving at that school. If you are someone that is going into a school just for observations, reflections, and to teach lessons, then you have someone called a PK-12CE. You'll have a new PK-12CE every semester as you get a diverse experience around your hometown. Now, those are how those people are different, but these people are also very much the same. Both of them will observe you teaching at least one time per credit hour, so once in term 1, once in term 2 of the next semester. They will also interact with you. Your building mentor is going to interact with you every week, figuring out what needs you have as a first-year teacher. Your PK-12 CE, of course, is going to interact with you every time you come in because you'll be visiting their classroom. You are also going to, they are also going to complete evaluations on a system that we have that's called Folio Tech. And their evaluations are going to cover dispositions that they see of you in the classroom. They'll complete one about week 3 or 4 of your 7-week experience. And then at the very end, what things did they see you grow in? What things did they see that was challenging for you? That just gives a really good open communication between the people in the school on the ground and us here at NKU. They'll also fill out evaluations on Folio Tech every time that you get observed. So that's just something to think about. On NKU's side, you will have someone called a UCE, or a University Clinical Evaluator. This person is also your course instructor. I've included both of those titles because in the MAT handbook or on Canvas, you might see both labels, but both of those people are being served by Dr. Beth Van Wassenhove, and she will lead you through both hours 1 and hours 2 throughout your entire semester. She's going to be serving as your university mentor. If you have questions on how to teach your first lesson, or if you're nervous, or resources for you to use, you're going to be asking her. She is your course instructor. She will be leading you through different activities to prep you for your field experience and to kind of challenge you through different experiences that you will have. She's going to observe you teach one time per credit hour, so once in term 1 and once in term 2. She's going to lead you through those hours 1 and 2. She's going to complete evaluations on Folio Tech for you, provide feedback on lesson plans, and then at the end, assign your final grade in the course. So let's look here. This shows your checklist for hour 1, but there are checklists for hours 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's also checklists for a combined hour 1 and 2 and a combined hour 4 and 5. The only thing that you need to worry about for this first 7 weeks is your EDMT 693 field experience checklist for hour 1. I'm going to show you where to find those on Canvas in our MAT kind of family room page. If you remember me talking about that, it was shared with you during orientation. And then also it will be made available for you from Dr. Van Wassenhove on your 693 course on Canvas. I've already talked too much. Hold on. So let's look at this to see what needs to be done throughout the 7 weeks. Now, this is just the stuff that needs to be done that involves while you're in the classroom that is tied to something on Folio Tech. Dr. Van Wassenhove may start discussions throughout the week. She might have you read other resources to help challenge you or help make you think about the experiences that you're having. So that is outside of this checklist. This checklist is just the bare bones minimum of what we have to do and upload on Folio Tech to pass the course. But you will also be graded on other things that Dr. Van Wassenhove presents to y'all. So for the first week, it says reach out to your UCE and with an introduction and anticipated dates of observations. So the first week that you are in your classroom, you need to meet with your building mentor, your PK-12 CE, and roughly get what dates would be good for Dr. Van Wassenhove to observe you teach one lesson, and also for that PK-12 CE or that building mentor to observe you teach one lesson. Of course, you will also be logging into your 693 course and introducing yourself on that course page. Week 2, you can see there are some things to do. And then week 3, you are going to be observed by your PK-12CE or your building mentor for the very first time. The lesson plan is going to be emailed to your PK-12CE 48 hours before the observation for feedback. You're also going to email this lesson plan to your UCE. So Dr. Van Wassenhove can see what you're doing, and they will both make suggestions if there's any changes that need to be made. If you're thinking, I don't know how to make a lesson plan, I'm new, I'm going to show you exactly where to find a template for that. You are also going to post your lesson plan on Foliotech under Source of Evidence Artifacts. And I'm going to show you that here in a little bit. You're going to complete a lesson reflection and post that onto Foliotech. And then your PK-12CE is going to complete one of those lesson evaluation forms that we were talking about. And that they're going to complete that by getting sent an email with just a link for that observation. They're going to click on that link in their email, and it's going to lead them to the correct form. On week 4, your PK-12CE is going to complete a professional disposition survey. That's one of those things that we were talking about. How are you doing in their classroom? How are you presenting yourself? How are you interacting with staff in the building or students in the classroom? For week 5, you are going to be observed by Dr. Van Wassenhove, your UCE. Again, about 2 days before, you're going to send that lesson plan to her so she can edit it, she can make suggestions. You will take her feedback, you will change anything that needs to be changed. You're going to upload that lesson plan to Foliotech. You're going to get observed, and then about 72 hours after your observation, you are going to have a reflection time with Dr. Van Wassenhove, and you guys are going to talk about things that can be improved for next time, things that you're really good at, things that she wants to see you change in the future. And then you're going to upload a reflection that you write about that experience onto Foliotech as well. Week 6, there's a lot of things being completed. And again, Dr. Van Wassenhove is going to walk you through that. And then in week 7, you are just going to upload your time log showing that you have completed those 40 hours. So let's jump in to see exactly what Foliotech is. Foliotech is a data management system used to capture your experiences in the program. And it follows you through all of your classes through hours 1 through 5 and 693, and also your student teaching experiences. And what it helps us do as a program is to see what you all are scoring high on and what you are scoring weaker on. Because if a large group of people or candidates are scoring weak in a certain area, that is information to me that we need to change something in the program to better serve you guys for the experiences that you will have in the classroom. So Foliotech is the name of the system that we use. You're going to sign up as soon as an email ticket is sent to you from Dr. Van Wassenhove. She's going to send you an email with a link, and it gives you kind of an e-ticket. That e-ticket needs to be used because it ties you to this specific program at NKU, because all the programs have different Foliotech accounts. It costs roughly $49 for the entire program, so that's something to budget for moving forward. And then when you are creating your profile, you need to remember what were you accepted on? Were you accepted as a middle grade social studies instructor? Or were you accepted as secondary biology? You're going to want to look at your acceptance letter to be able to fill out that profile page correctly. Now, let's say you're planning on getting a middle grades and secondary licensure, but you don't have that yet. You're just going to fill out that profile based on your acceptance letter from graduate admissions. And then once any changes happen, we can go back in and change the system. But this right here is a screenshot of what Folio Tech looks like for you all. And you can see there's your portfolio, a profile, standards that we are following, evaluations, courses, and then a summary. And you can see at the very top, there is the beginnings of hour 1, and that's the course that we are talking about right now. Your cumulative progress report is a report of everything that you have completed throughout your time in your 693 courses. The state tells us that you have to have so many different experiences before you make it to student teaching. And these experiences are making sure that you are a well-rounded educator that we have pursued and you have pursued certain opportunities to affect you as an educator. So to make sure that you have had different experiences. So you will find this cumulative progress report, sometime referred to as a CPR, at the top of your Folio Tech page. And you can see I have highlighted it in red there to the right. Once you click on that, it'll bring up a screen. I'm sorry, to your left. Once you click on that, it'll pull up a screen that looks like something to your right. And you can see there's 5 different 693 courses in that red oval, hour 1 through 5. And then at the very last one that's not circled, that's your student teaching experience. For your field experience hours, you need to have at least 40 in each one of those hours to equal your 200 field experience hours. Now, if you're option 6, you are going to have a lot more hours than that, and that's okay. You are also going to select underneath where you have input your hours, what semester and year did you complete that field experience. Underneath there, you can see experiences that we want you to have in observations in schools and related agencies. You need to click on and fulfill all of those 7 statements before you can get into student teaching. So between hours 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you need to observe in schools, have an observation in school-related agencies, do some student tutoring, interact with families, attend a school board meeting, attend a school-based council meeting, participate in school-based professional learning community, and have opportunities to assist teachers or other school professionals. If you have any questions about how you can get that done, the first place that I would start is your PK-12CE or Building Mentor. But remember, all of those things have to be completed at the end of hour 5. Most likely you will very naturally get observations in schools completed in hour 1. You might do some student tutoring. If your teacher has conferences, or if you join your teacher on a phone call or a parent meeting that has fulfilled your interactions with families of students, you will most likely have these 7 hit multiple times over hours 1 through 5, but you have to at least hit each one through hours 1 through 5, okay? The next thing that we're looking here is that you are having diverse experiences. So you need to hit there are 2 more statements down there that got cut off, but you need to hit all your statements in this section before you can go to clinical experience as well. So hours 1 through 5, did you interact with student populations from 2 or more races or ethnicities? Did you interact with English language learners, socioeconomic diverse learners, and students with disabilities? Again, all of those between hours 1 and 5. These are our KTIP standards. And so you also have to hit these all before you are finished with hour 5. And again, this term, you're just doing hour 1. Next term, you're just doing hour 2. There are descriptions of these standards on our Canvas page. And right here you can see is that Canvas page. That's the Canvas page that you were invited to during our meeting together. when I was advising you. But just a simple reminder, after you have filled out all these forms at the end of your term 1, and then at the end of your term 2, you're always going to save and close, or you can click on all you want and nothing will happen. So I'm not going to jump into the MAT program yet. I'm going to save that till the end, and I'm going to show you where everything is. But I just want to introduce what everything is first before I show you where the resources are. So these are lesson plans and lesson reflections. Again, this top left-hand screenshot is taken directly from our Canvas page. And we even looked at that a little bit during advising together. But there is information on field experience, timeline information. That is, when do I send my lesson plan? When do I send my lesson plan to my UCE or my PK-12 CE or building mentor? When do they get it back to me? When do I teach my lesson? When do I have that after lesson recap meeting? All of those things you will find in that field experience timeline information. Observed lessons, we're going to talk about what those look like. Your field experience semester reflection, we're going to talk about what that looks like. And then there is a spring calendar, and it will have spring 2022 on there, I promise. So this right here is our lesson plan form for all 693 experiences. What you'll see though is there are certain things that are grayed out. With that being said, you will not fill out the entire lesson plan until you get to hours 4 and 5. We're going to kind of just dip our toe in. We're going to scaffold with this. So you are only going to do certain things that are highlighted on your lesson plan reflection, but that is the whole thing that you are going to be working with. And we'll look at it in more depth here in a little bit. So let's look at your observations and how each observation will work. Now, I have taken this whole screen and just copied and pasted it from our Canvas page. So if it looks familiar, that is why. Or if you would like the information more at your fingertips, you can find it on our Canvas page, and I'll show you exactly where. So we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but let's go over it again. Your lesson plan is going to be emailed to either your PK-12 CE or your UCE, whoever is observing you, about 48 hours before the observed lesson for feedback. You know when you are being observed because you set those times up in the first week. And I think it was the 3rd week, your PK-12 CE was observing you. And I think your 5th week, your UCE was observing you. Now it says that you're going to either send it to your PK-12 CE or your UCE, depending on who's observing you, your lesson plan. In all reality, every lesson plan that you get observed, you're sending to your UCE to see if they have feedback and to kind of just keep tabs on how you're doing. So you're going to fill out that modified lesson plan. You are going to send it to your PK-12 CE and your UCE, or just your UCE. Then you're going to get the feedback from them. You're giving it to them 48 hours in advance, so they have time to read it, give you feedback, and then you have time to make those changes before you teach the lesson. Feedback is taken and changes are made on the lesson plan, and then you're going to submit that lesson plan onto Foliotech, and I will show you where that is here in a bit. Then you're going to teach a lesson. Have a great time. Don't worry too much about it, especially your first lesson that you're teaching. You might not teach everything that you've written down. You might get a little off track. That's okay. You might see a learning opportunity and decide to go a different way. That's also okay. After you teach that PK-12 CE or UCE, whoever observed you, they're going to complete the lesson evaluation form before you post-conference, before you meet up and talk about how your lesson went. The PK-12 CE or UCE is going to post it on Foliotech, and they're going to use that as a discussion tool. How you did, what were your strengths, what were your weaknesses? And then you're going to meet with the person that observed you for a post-conference, discussing your performance about 48 hours after the taught lesson. From your discussion in your post-conference, you're then going to complete your lesson reflection. After you've taught it, after you've personally reflected, after you reflected with the person that observed you, then you're going to type out that lesson reflection and you're going to submit it on Foliotech under, there's a source of evidence tab, and then under artifacts within about 72 hours of your observation. That is the pattern that you will have for every observation. There's 2 per credit hour for the 5 credit hours of observations. You're going to do this pattern over and over and over again. It gives us an opportunity to plan, get feedback, to make changes, to perform our lesson plan, and then to evaluate ourselves, and then have someone else evaluate and kind of reflect on how we're going to do in the future. This is a very common system that all educators use. I use this even after I teach a lesson. Dr. Van Wassenhove uses this after she teaches a lesson. It might not be as formal as this, but the process of teaching and reflecting and making changes is what strong educators do throughout their whole entire career. Okay, your hour logs. Your hour logs look a little bit different than this, and I am actually going to show you straight on Foliotech what those hour logs look like. Because in the past, you would print out something and you would fill it out, and you would have your PK-12CE or building mentor sign a piece of paper. Well, that's changed. And so now it's all done digitally, and we'll cover that. But again, something to remember, you need to have 40 hours per each credit hour. So 40 hours for hour 1 and 40 hours for hour 2 logged on your time log. Okay, so if you have any questions, which I'm not finished yet because I want to show you Canvas, and I also want to show you some things on Foliotech. If you do have any questions, you can always reach out to me, and there's my email address, or you can reach out to Dr. Van Wassenhove, and that is her email address. But let's hop in very quickly to this Canvas site that we looked at during advising. Okay, so I've clicked on that MAT program, and I'm going to go to modules, and I'm going to look right here in my 693 field experience information and guides. And you kind of remember seeing these things right there as a screenshot in our little presentation. So I'm going to click on this field experience timeline information. Right here is a video explaining even more these different timelines. Right here is where you can find and download that checklist that we are talking about that says what needs to be done in hour 1, hour 2, hour 3, hour 4, and hour 5. So that is where you can find those. Right here, do you remember when I said that I had copied and pasted directly into the presentation on what happens in your observed lessons? That's here. So your lesson plan emailed, and then this is a hot link right here, and it will bring you to, if your lesson plan needs to be created and you're in hour 1, you are going to click on this, and it is going to tell you exactly what you have to do for hour 1. Okay, and so there are notes here. During hour 1 of your field experience, we are particularly focused on the lesson launch and instructions that guides students into the investigation. While you need to build out the rest of the lesson, we anticipate that parts A and B will be the strongest in this field. Okay. You can also see other things that are highlighted. Now, you're going to communicate with Dr. Van Wassenhove on exactly what things that she wants filled out for your hour 1 lesson plan and your hour 2 lesson plan, but it's not going to be the entire thing, because we want you to spend all of your energy just on a few beginning key skills. So I clicked on the wrong thing. Here we go, your observed lessons. So that's your lesson plan template. Right here is the lesson evaluation form. When you get observed, your PK-12CE or Building Mentor and your UCE course instructor, Dr. Van Wassenhove, is going to fill out this form. And I highly encourage you to go through this form and see what they're rating you on. What things are they expecting you to do and do well? As you get this form back and you're looking at how you did, please understand in hour 1 and 2, accomplished isn't going to happen. You have just now started this new profession. So if you don't get accomplished, if you get emerging and target, you're doing a great job. And that's what the program expects of you. Okay, so look that over. Make sure you understand what you're being assessed on before someone comes and observes you. And then, of course, right here is your lesson reflection. In hours 1 and 2 with Dr. Van Wassenhove, you are going to fill out a lesson reflection that looks much like this. Okay, and she will tell you exactly what things she wants to see on that lesson reflection. So those are your observed lessons, your field experience semester reflection. This is going to be completed by the end of week 6 in every 693 course that you will participate in. And then here's a template in Word and in a PDF version, and then a video explaining your field experience reflection. Again, just some things for you to remember. Again, this is going to happen in week 6. But look at some of those things that you need to hit on. Did you observe? Did you do tutoring with a student? All of those things. But this is something that you can look at, maybe not in week 1, maybe closer to week 2 or 3 of your experience. Okay, that is everything that I think you need. This is going to be changed to reflect spring 2022. But if you guys need anything, please let me or Dr. Van Wassenhove know. We are here for you. We remember how it feels to be teaching your first lesson plan. We remember how it feels to be a first-year teacher. So please know those things. And we would love to help coach you or guide you through any crazy experiences you have over the next 7 weeks. We're proud of you guys, and we are excited to watch y'all grow.